Welcome to another episode of Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. I'm your host, Duane Cofield. This is August 29th, 2022. This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. Indeed, we're back. All of our channels are live. We are ready to go. Hope all is well, feeling good. Semester just started, so we're excited about what's ahead of us, man. Hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully some new things are popping for you guys. As always, if you are new to this live, go ahead, put your comments put where you're from in the chat, in the comments section. You got any questions that you want answered, make sure you put them in the chat. Those who are listening all over the world, we want to give you a shout out. If you guys ever need any information, any questions answered over the air, go ahead and send me an email, cofield@gmail.com. That's COFIELD@gmail.com. Hopefully I can get to it on the next episode. So what's good? What is good, man? We are on episode number 24 of season 3, man. This has been a fantastic ride. We are continuing our efforts, our learning. I'm a perpetual learner, so whatever I learn, I'm coming back to give. And God is always giving me more and more information and ammunition in order to keep going. So I got content for days because my source is the plug of all plugs. So those, go ahead, put them down there, man, so we can put them on the screen, give you guys a shout out. But yeah, man. So this what's going on, Shavante? How you doing? You good? Hope all is well. Hope everything is going well with you guys, man. I'm having a ball. Um, you know, I discover stuff, man, which is how we're coming to what we're doing today. And of course, I'm playing around on the computer, making sure all my stuff is where it's supposed to be. But in reality, man, what's up, Samuel? Shout out to the ATL. Um, I've come to some realizations, man. And one of the main realizations is that nobody's dream will fit you. And that's the this episode title is nobody's their dreams won't fit no matter what you do. When you are following somebody else's dream, it's never comfortable. It never feels like your own. It feels like, I've seen cats duplicate cats too, man. I've seen efforts of people influence, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a powerful person, you have that type of personality and that type of pizzazz and flavor, then yeah, people are gonna follow you and copy your style. They're gonna have ambitions similar to yours, and there's nothing wrong with that. And fundamentally, now when the problem comes is when you start to do exact stuff, right? When you start to mimic them exactly, you know what I'm saying, and you don't really have an identity of your own. So, and that happens, right? How do we learn behavior? How do we learn any of that stuff, right? It's not our fault because we've all had to watch somebody in order to learn something. But there comes a point in time in our lives where we stand up for our own dreams of who we are. We start to represent ourselves, and that whole individuality type concept comes in. And at that time, we're supposed to have our own ambitions and dreams that we're supposed to follow. You did. Now, when you see cats that are lost, and there are a breed of them, right? There are a breed of homies that you guys know, and we can all attest to this, a breed of homies that we all know that are lost, that have no real direction, right? That's whatever's next, homie. You know what I'm saying? They also, all right, what's next? And a lot of times that's just not, an innate quality that they possess. You know what I mean? So they may be lacking that leadership or ability to go create their own or develop their own ideas and dreams. But I'm telling you right now, their dreams won't fit. So a lot of times it's easier to follow somebody else's dream rather than construct our own, right? It's way easier. All we got to do is just model ourselves behind them. Hopefully we do the same things we're doing, sell the same. Remember we used to, because I know when I grew up, man, I grew up in Southeast. Well, actually Southeast, we moved to Southeast, but I started really peeping game in East Dago when I was in about the 4th or 5th grade. These cats used to play football at the school, Hoover High School in East Dago. And I used to wonder what them cats was up to. And I started to idolize them. I saw that's when the feelers, the dope boy feelers was really, really like they was real at that time. You know what I'm saying? Perms, it was trucks. It wasn't even lowriders really too much at that time. It was Toyota trucks, KMC, Suzuki Samurai. So I'm talking in that era. Block cell phones. So that's what I saw coming up. So ideally, that's what I wanted. Why? Because they everybody idolized them. They had the girls, they had, all the homies looked up to them when they pulled up. It was different. So that was, my fault because I'm sitting up there looking at them like, man, this is what I want to become, and not really looking at it in full spectrum. Because when we start looking at things in full spectrum, it changes our perception, right? Once we start to look at the entirety of it, what comes with that dream, right? What comes with that dream, right? Because everything, like, it's like a happy meal, right? It comes with a toy, it comes with something, some type of additional responsibility, some type of something. So whatever dreams are sacrificial, you got to sacrifice certain things. So you got to be careful what you wish for, right? Because we're only looking at certain sides of people's lives, right? We're only looking at the good. I want to be in finance, and finance is tough, especially right now. People are losing their shirts. Financial managers are getting called and pressured. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different ball game right now. So do you want that? One of the things that the homie always talks about, be like, D, you always content. You just content. I was talking to my wife about that, being content. There's a power in that, right? There's a sense of a real power in being cool with what you have, right? And not necessarily not knocking the next man's dreams or hustles, right? Admiring them and saying, you know what, I can live vicariously through you with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that, right? It's not gonna give me more. I realized that a long time ago. We bought rims and we bought bigger ones, and nothing ever made me feel better. Sounds, we got louder sounds. You know what I mean? And all this stuff was to attract attention to show, hey man, I'm important too. And I realize that that's my confession, right? That may not apply to everybody. Everybody has their own things that get them high. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own vices. A lot of times, sometimes it's power. Sometimes it may be power. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's status, right? It depends on what it is, but everybody has some form of high that they get, right, from something they possess or a position they possess. So you got to be careful with what you dream for, what you trying to strive for. You dig? Because there's things that come with that, right? So there's a responsibility. Like, I teach too, so I'm cool. I like, love the teaching on campus, but there's also a responsibility that comes with that. You got to compete with your peers. You got to stay on top of certain academic qualifications. You got to answer student emails. You got to work on the weekend, grading papers or whatever the case may be. There's things that come with that, right? You want to be Jeff Bezos. I was just talking to my relative about that. I'm like, oh, so you want to be Jeff Bezos? I want billions. Man, that comes with a lot of responsibility, right? Just imagine somebody hands you, X and Y. I always we've talked about that in the past, right? If somebody handed you $40 billion, would you know how to process that? Everybody, oh yeah, 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 man, that's a lot of money, a lot of money and a lot of responsibility. The main thing you're gonna try not to do is mess it up, and that's usually when you do mess it up, right? But that's a lot of responsibility, right? We all wanted kids early. Oh, I want a baby. I want a baby mama. Do you? Right? It looked good on him or her. Oh, that's cute. Oh, yeah, but you don't see everything else of staying up late at night, to going to parent teacher, the real parenting shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats, I ain't gonna say just cats, kittens too, that don't do. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. You know what I mean? So what do you want? You got to be cool with what God gives you. You got to be cool with that. And it comes in stages. Everything don't come at one time. Everything doesn't come as a woo wop, a big glob. It comes in stages when you're ready to process and handle it. But you can't model yourself after somebody else. God, like, man, I gave him that. That's not for you. That's for that cat. You know what I'm saying? I know you admiring it and all that, and you getting ideas, but get an idea and get your own shit. I remember one of my partners used to take us to Compton all the time with him. You know what I'm saying? We used to go down there, mess around, da 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 da. And I'll start seeing cars. You know what I'm saying? Like clean ones. You know what I mean? So I'm like, ooh, gave me some ideas and I did my own. I didn't copy exactly what they did. But I did my own dream. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta follow your path. I don't care what your daddy, your brother, because a lot of times we get caught up into that too. Well, my dad did this, I gotta do this, or I gotta follow down the no, you don't. You can deviate. You can create a line of your own. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be what everybody else has already done. You know what I mean? You get caught up into that. You know what I'm saying? You kicking around a gang of monkeys, you start thinking bananas are impressive. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta you gotta make sense. You can't follow what everybody else is doing. Some people have low ambitions. You know, they only want this. They don't want to rise that high. They don't want to try nothing else. They don't want to see what they're really capable of. So you got to make sure that you're around ambitious people because that shit is contagious. And the lack of ambition is equally contagious. So it can show you as soon as you kick it around these people, you're like, man, then all of a sudden I don't really want shit. Or I want what they have, right? I want whatever that is, you know. So you want to make sure that you're in the right circle if you're gonna feel that type of peer pressure because it's real. It is real. You know, you kick it around, you told my mom that when she paddleboard when we was in San Diego. Said, Mom, you stay around a barbershop, you're gonna get your hair cut. You kick it in there long enough. It's just a matter of time. And that's the thing. You surround yourself with ambitious, or people that understand how the universe works, you're gonna start to get it too. And one of the things I'm really understanding is letting things come to you. You know what I mean? The law of least effort, right? Is that what they call it? The law of least effort, right? Where I'm not putting in a lot of effort towards it, right? I've told the universe, I asked God for a blessing. He knows my heart, knows what I want. Now, whether he gives that to me on my timeline or not is entirely up to him. You know what I'm saying? But I will be ready for it, hopefully, because he will give it to me when it's time. I wouldn't have to chase it. I don't have to chase it down and stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning to get it. I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? If it requires that much effort, then that's obviously not the right path. I hear people talking all that. I'm listening again to the magic of manifesting, and there's a guy talking about Elon Musk. And everybody wants to have everybody wants Elon Musk. Like you said, Elon Musk has been divorced, I think twice, right? And needs Adderall or whatever it is to go to sleep because he can't sleep. So think about that, right? Do you want that? You want Elon Musk problems? Is that what you're interested in? I don't think so. Right? So that's that, we gotta it's hard to say that, and you think about your kids, man, damn, I wish my kids would man. There's people that wish that their kids were your normal kids, right? Because everybody has issues, everybody has different levels of issues, everybody's going through a different stage in their lives. So you can't be jealous of somebody else and want what they have. That's their blessing. You don't know what else is going on in their life. You're only seeing a slice of it, right? And even if you see more than a slice, you may not still know what's popping. So we got to be happy with our stuff, man, with our dreams, our goals. What are those? And start to write them down and set them. Man, I'm knocking mine down. But some of them I just looked at and said, oh, I didn't accomplish that. Okay, well, next time you got to do it. I'm learning so much right now, even teaching, man. Great opportunity for me. See why God has me here. Has me taking business classes every semester and just edging that stuff in my head. I'm looking at documents, doing it every single semester. Then it's going on my 5th year. Set forth a direction, follow through with it. Next thing you know, you'll start to see the fruits of your labor. The one thing that the universe wants you to do is take one step towards your dream. No, that's the thing, man. Action is everything, homie. I don't care if it's a Google search. Look it up. Figure it out. We've been on this food truck stuff, man. I got 2 or 3 quotes, $40,000 differences. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. I'm still learning this game, and I'm trying to see if it's something because my gut is saying, you know what I mean? my guide is pushing me towards just be patient. I'm gonna give you a restaurant exactly where you're supposed to have it. Those are the instructions that I'm getting. What's up, Steven? Fifth Ward tapping in. What's up, baby? Right? So that's my direct line and connection to God. That's what he's telling me so far. Now he may be telling my wife something different. He may be telling my mom something different because those are the partners that are involved in the business. But that's what he's telling me. I see us having a nice establishment and perhaps getting a food truck after. But we'll see how it works. One of the things that I'm clear on, I'm not pushing nothing. I'm not gonna force no, because if I force something, I know it's not meant for me. If it comes to me, right? Now, if it's the thing I want and it comes to me, then I get it confirmed, right? And I know the universe is confirming that that's for me. So right now we're looking at it, and the homie shoot me stuff. Shout out to the homie John. I don't know if he's listening. South Central in the building, but he sends me Ghost Kitchen information, all kind of stuff related to that. So when you tell the universe and the homies what you're interested in, you start getting stuff, right? You start getting things confirmed. You start getting more and more information. The homies start helping you, right? Which means the universe is actually behind that push as well. But you got to let certain people know, not be afraid. I keep hearing that conversation. Oh man, don't tell nobody your dream. Why not? The right person might hear it. The wrong person ain't got enough power. You get, man, that's you what? You ain't got that much power. Oh, they hating on me, man. They gonna do it over there talking to them. I'm not gonna catch wind of it. Why? Because I don't talk to haters. And if they heard it from you, that means that they hanging around a hater or they're one as well. So I don't even talk to them. So I'm not even gonna hear the shit, to be honest with you. So that's not even a concern of mine. Now, the right person may hear it and may say, "Oh, okay, they trying to get XYZ off the ground. Okay, I may be in a position to help them. I may be in a position to partner. I may be in a position that I know somebody that has a restaurant that they trying to down or whatever the case." Shout out to the homie James too, who be looking out, sending me stuff. God got his angels, homies. I'm telling you, man, they all around. They all around. That's why it's so important to let the universe know what you up to and not be a carbon copy. Be a one of one, man. Break the mold. There ain't no more of this. And your dreams are unique, man. They for you. Whatever we that you and God agreed on early in life, still possible. Still possible. Don't bury nothing. God is a fantastic, amazing, and can produce miraculous results. Promise you that. You hear all the most successful cats talk about their relationship with God because ain't no human could possibly have done any of that shit. There's no human that could pull it off. Only God can pull that off. So asking for it, right? And he look at you crazy when you start talking about you want to be like such and such, man. You're like, come on, man. He looking at it like, man, that's just like insulting somebody, man. Would you come up with a perfect, like a one of a kind car? Well, why you didn't give me no lowrider? He looking like, man, I just built you a one of a kind. You are one of a kind. What's going on? Tuning in for the nap. I see you, homie. You are one of a kind, and you want to be a copy? You want to be like this cat? And a lot of times, what the cold part about it is, we don't even know where they got their flavor from. It might be somebody who's illiterate. It might be somebody who ain't got no game, and they just saw him, or he happened to be in the neighborhood. That's why it's so important to check your sources, man. How you learn that? Where you learn that from, dog? You know what's how you put that together? Where's this coming from? Where's the I remember in the game, man, I would always tell like police, I'm like, well, who's they peoples? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if we can't pinpoint a relative, somebody, a aunt, grandma, something, they just pop out of nowhere, man. Man, come on, homie. We ain't rookies in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's related to you? You ain't got no there's nobody here that had you arrive. Where the hell did you come from? You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta have somebody. You dig? And that's how we used to sniff them out, man. Oh man, I don't know what you talking about, who you talking to. But if you ain't got no peoples around, auntie smoking, somebody got to be connected. Somebody got to be able to touch somebody. I got to see grandma. I got to see something. If I don't see nobody, you ain't seeing nothing either. That's how we doing that one. You know what I'm saying? But back to I digress. But you gotta be original with yours. I tell my son all the time, he's trying to figure out who he is. He's trying to model himself and get himself to be who he is. And he's taking little bits from there and there, but he doesn't know how to apply it to himself. And he hasn't realized how amazing he already is. And that's the part that we don't realize. We thinking we need this, we need to add all these pieces to us, man. We good. Trust me. God made perfection. We are straight in whatever situation we in. We got to smile at ourselves, right? And be happy with the product and understand that our dreams are unique. So, man, you got to dream something special and different than anybody else you've seen. It ain't no whack ass ideas, man. Some of the most wackest ideas are the same phenomenons that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, right? Dude, Rick Ross just bought a bunch of cows. Hopefully, homies is watching. I watch these dudes, and I'm like, man, y'all got all this influence. Quit talking about keys. He said I was listening to something he was doing. He was like, man, I pulled up to the club with 20. Like, man, that's the stupid shit. What you need to be telling these cats is how you get them lemon pepper. Like, what's the ticket on the chicken? How much is it to get one of these franchises? That's what you need to be rapping about. Rallies or whatever the fuck. I mean, I'm sorry, whatever. The burger place at Checkers, I guess it's Checkers in Florida. But that's what you got to be talking about. Distribution, Bun B as well, man. Okay, well, you got best burger. Lace the homies. How can we get in that line to start sampling our stuff? The homies got fired too. You know what I mean? You see everybody getting in this cook game. Why? Because other games are toasted. It's a young man's game. You got a brand name, man. Extend it out, man. Put some food behind it. E40 got it popping, selling turf burritos, ice cream, and hot dogs. I mean, and sausages. Got the homies inspired. Now that's okay if you look at somebody and say, you know what, homie, I could do something similar. You know what I mean? And I have these ideas. It's not like I watched them. I watched them, but I'm like around the same time, I'm already thinking something like that too. I've always wanted to be in the restaurant business for a long time. Like, man, I could do this better because I like going to nice restaurants with good food. Man, shout out to if anybody know back in the day, M&M's on Centinela with Vinnie Mac. Man, what? Fire food. I mean, it take like an hour and a half. You be sitting in that parking lot posted, 7-Eleven right there. But it used to be fire. Now it's the court or something like that. It's still black owned or whatever. But it was fire back then. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, if you guys you know. But that seeing that, I was like, man, this is what I love, man. I love this energy, all that stuff. So I've dreamed about it. And then it slowly but surely starts to come. I dreamed about being a teacher. Slowly but surely starts to come to fruition. Everything, man, ask for it. Start to look. What do you want? Keep your eyes on whatever it is you want. You want a vet? Look at it. I don't care. I'm not saying telling you what to get. This is your dream. You can create it however you want. That's the beauty. And people don't even realize they are low-key magicians. You can create whatever you want. Read The Alchemist. Paulo Coelho, right? Will Smith recommends it, but it's an amazing book about creation, just being able to create the life that you want. I know it sounds simple, but you're going to have to go through trials and tribulations. Don't get me wrong. The enemy's not just going to sit there and let you ride it out into the sunset. That's a negative. But what he will do, what he will do is challenge you right at your most vulnerable time. So you got to understand that fight between the enemy. That's a constant. That's never going to go anywhere, right? And the higher you get, the more subtle and he got to be crafty because you're getting sharper. So and he got to hit you with harder blows. So just recognize that's coming along with it. So with dreams come, like I said, they come tings, man. They come tings with it. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have your own. You don't want to bear the burden of somebody else's BS, but you can be inspired, right? Rick Ross bought cows. Talk about that in the songs, right? Jay Prince sells hay, gets it off. I saw a video earlier with Bun B talking about that. He said, man, the more money Jay-Z has, the less he looks like he has it. The less jewelry he got on. That's that man's dream. So you got to watch whatever it is that you want. And that's the key, man. Write it down. First of all, man, you got to have evidence that you and the universe already had it worked out a long time ago, right? You watch the movie The Secret, it talks about that, right? How the dude had drew his house and then found the picture later when he was in the house moving in. That shit happens, man. I've done it several times. I remember when I had black surfers on my vision board back in the day when I used to do vision boards way more. You know what I'm saying? And I would bam. Next thing you know, I'm in a wetsuit smacking it with my GoPro. Unbelievable. Magic. Unfreaking believable. That's how powerful the mind is. The mind can create whatever it wants. Whatever it wants. There's danger in that too, because if you don't have the right mindset, you're looking at the wrong things, you can create a nightmare for your life, right? A constant downhill doom. We're screwed, conspiracy, the government coming after us. Or you can walk through life, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you're not going to go through up and downs, right? I'm not saying that. But as long as your intentions are pure and you remain the majority on the optimist side, like to look at the brighter side of things, then the brighter side of things will come, right? They will come. You got to just look for it. Because we look for the bad, we constantly get that. Man, I'm catching every light. We'll talk to the universe, then it's going to keep making you catch every light. You feel me? I talked to my son this morning, man. We about to have a perfect first day. We talked about it last night. This morning, got up and talked about it, and guess what? It was a perfect day. So you got to speak that stuff into existence. What do you want? I keep saying that. We got to watch our mouths. I hear people talk all the time. Think they jokingly talking about themselves. Man, I ain't no boo. No, 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 nah, bro. Watch your mouth. Whatever you want, whatever's gonna happen is coming out of your mouth. So predict it, say it, but believe it's gonna work. The universe doesn't know whether you bullshitting or not. They have no idea. It has no clue whether you're telling the truth or not. So you might as well make it if you're gonna lie, if you're gonna lie to yourself, you might as well lie to yourself in a positive way. Right? You've heard the term fake it until you make it. There's truth in that, right? If you haven't figured it out, imposter syndrome is a very real thing, right? We deal with it a lot, especially minorities, especially minority men, right? We have to deal with it all the time. We try to climb up certain ladders and try to do everything. Man, there's pressure in that. But it's okay. It's fine. It built us into a different type of species, right? Like Jay-Z said, I've lived 8 lives, they've lived one. There's a difference between how we speak, right? There's a difference between how I learn and how you learn. There's a difference in the reason why I learn and the reason why you learn. I'm a perpetual student because information was kept from us for so many years. I can learn whatever I want now. I'm looking up every damn thing. And we got Google, everything getting looked up. No, ain't no doubts, no questions, no nada. And I'm also looking up opportunities. God gave me the ability to stay in this university system. The first time I didn't know what I was doing. So I didn't know what to look up. I didn't even know they had research databases that you could look things up like that. Now God giving me another opportunity. You think I'm not going to take it? Take full advantage of it. 100%. And I encourage you guys to do the same. It worked for me. If you want to learn more, go to where they're learning, right? If you haven't figured out what your dream is, go there to figure out. Don't go to the homies or some other people who don't have dreams and make yourself feel comfortable, because that's a lot of times that's what we do. We go around other people who ain't doing shit to make our stuff not look that bad. But you go around some cats who go getters, man. They like, homie, they looking at you like, what? So why are you in our circle, right? But you have to get that kind of peer pressure, right? That makes you a better individual, not makes you worse. Not succumb to something that's dangerous, right? I'm not gonna go around people. If I'm not really a drinker, I'm not going around it. There's no reason to. You know what I'm saying? And I understand people do what they do, but that's just I'm not doing it. So I piss people off. Hey man, so I'll go to a TED talk rather than buy, whatever. I'll go to a TED talk. I'll invest my money there. And if nobody talks to me, at least I learned something from the people up on the stage speaking. My perspective is different, and I'm not afraid to be who I am. That's ballsy, right? to denounce some of the same things that you so much believed in your whole childhood. You spread it around. You got other cats involved. Nah, not anymore. Now I'm trying to put cats up on different stuff, library stuff, business, how to organize your stuff, how to submit certain things, how to get your shit trademarked, all those types of things, right? Submit your DBA, right? And realize that one corporation, you can open 3 or 4 businesses under one corporation. As many as you want, technically. I mean, there's a limitation, I think, but I'm just saying. And those who are listening around the world, you need to tap into what's going on locally. Where are your opportunities? Because God didn't just put us here. He put us here for a reason. And it's to pick up game, right? It's not to live in somebody else's skin and somebody else's dream. Nah, we got original thoughts and original dreams. Who are we? What's for us, right? How can we convince other people to start to live their lives according to what God has planned for them so that they can get their dreams, right? We don't need any more naysayers. We got enough of that out there. We need some people speaking life into each other. Bottom line, you speaking life into your peoples? If not, then quit talking to them. If you don't have anything nice to say, literally shut the fuck up. Period. You know what I mean? And that's I can't say that more point blank. And be quiet talking to yourself like that too. More importantly, because the internal conversations are way more important than the external ones. What's going on inside will come out. And it comes out in conversation, it comes out in doubt, it comes out in a lot of different things. But you got to shut that down. You got to realize, hey, you could talk yourself out of it. You talk yourself into that negative spiral, you can talk yourself out of it. Conversation. How do we do that? We got to have our tools around us, right? I just told you guys I'm listening to the Magic of Manifesting again. Another one of my tools. Stuff gets hairy, looks ugly. Doop, 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 turn it on. Take me there. So you got to have your tools or you'll drift. You'll drift. So what's your original thought? What's your original dream? How you going to pursue it? What's the next thing you could take action on tomorrow? Because you know I'm big on action. 5-minute rule. We ain't got to go over that again, but you get that because your mind's going to start to logically talk you out of it, period. So what move are you going to make tomorrow? Something you didn't get done today? A few things I didn't get done today. That's all right. I'm going to get it done tomorrow. You got to keep pushing, bottom line, but not under somebody else's coattail who's not going anywhere. Now you can mentee or become a mentee or mentor. I mean, a mentee of somebody who's got game. I'm saying mentorship works, especially the contacts, right? The people that they can introduce you to. Those are the things that have power and potential. So that's one thing I told you guys. I think this is something that I've learned over time. Develop better relationships with people. Show up to a few things, and that's something that's on me. So I'm working on that. I'm working in progress, just like all of us who are listening, right? We're trying to find some type of voice that we can resonate and connect with. I'm trying to give you the best version of me every Monday at 7, hands down. Nothing else I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? But kind of keep living, keep letting God giving me content and information. Let the universe keep providing for me, and let God keep showing everybody a part of this world, a proven vessel that you could change at any time. You can switch it up at any time and start to go in that direction. Again, like Steve Harvey said, you jump, you take that leap of faith. The parachute is not going to open immediately, so don't panic. Most people panic because their parachute doesn't open. I get it. Everybody goes through the same process and procedure. That's it. It will open. I promise you it will open. So don't go trying to look at somebody else when you falling and bouncing up off the rocks, trying to grab somebody else's parachute and ride their parachute in. It's not yours. Shit ain't gonna fit. That will conclude the weekly tap in for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be back next week for another episode of the weekly tap in. If you haven't hit the subscription button, you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscription button and the notifications so that you do not miss another episode. Those who are watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other social medias, I certainly appreciate you. Those who are listening from around the world, I cannot stress how important it is that you guys are rocking with a brother. I certainly and truly appreciate every minute, every second that you guys give me, because I know time is It is a precious resource, and I do not want to waste yours. So, with that being said, I'm tapping out.